In the weeks before protests engulfed the US Capitol, life at the White House was a little quieter than usual.
You haven't had any fever, cough, sore throat, headache, difficulty breathing?
Due to the coronavirus, space at press conferences was limited, and reporters who did get a spot wore masks.
Can you take it off because I cannot hear you?
I'll just speak louder, sir.
Oh, okay, good. You want to be politically correct. Go ahead.
No, sir, I just want to wear the mask.
Go ahead.
But as the economic and health crisis in this country grew, one thing remained constant: the president's disdain for any journalist who contradicted him.
That's really bad reporting. And you ought to get back to reporting instead of sensationalism.
You know, I've covered 4 presidents. I've known Donald Trump for 25 or more years. It doesn't bother me. I know it's, in a way, part of an act for him when he does this. But he does it to other reporters that are brand new on the beat, and it can be quite intimidating. And that's the intent.
You didn't tell me that, John.
Jonathan Karl is ABC America's chief White House correspondent and has been on the end of Trump tirades after asking tough
See,
questions.
there's a typical fake news deal.
You asked me when she was appointed. I told you when she was appointed.
You're a third-rate reporter, and what you just said is a disgrace, okay?
The president usually goes on the attack when under pressure or faced with an inconvenient fact.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you very much. You will never make it. Go ahead, please.
And Mr. Karl believes the approach is further polarising the nation and eroding trust in the media to the point where some Americans won't believe anything reported by a mainstream outlet.
You now have a situation where there's not just deep divisions about politics, it's divisions about what is real. You know, it's like fundamental facts.
For his entire political career, the president has preferred speaking unchallenged to his followers on Twitter, a platform that at times has provided a minute-by-minute insight into the commander-in-chief's thought processes.
According to the Washington Post, he has about 18,000 false or misleading claims since he took office. Of those, about 3,300 have been published on Twitter.
Eric Wemple, a media critic, says traditional outlets have done a fairly good job fact-checking the president, while big social media companies have a lot to answer for.
Twitter has been an accessory and accomplice and an aider and abetter of Trump's lying from day one, from long since before he took office as president.
But as the pandemic death toll in America passed 100,000, the number of unemployed soared towards 41 million, and debate about how to safely vote at November's presidential election grew, Twitter decided to change its approach, slapping fact-check labels on Mr. Trump's tweets about voter fraud and warning users his post about the Minneapolis riots, where he stated, "When the looting starts, the shooting starts," violated its rules on glorifying violence.
There's nothing I'd rather do than get rid of my whole Twitter account, but I'm able to get to, I guess, 186 million people when you add up all the different accounts and add Facebook and Instagram. It's a lot of people, and that's more than the media companies have, frankly, by a lot. So I'm able to refute fake news, and that's very important.
Well, it's embarrassing for him. I mean, I put out on Twitter, because I know the son of a bitch, it is embarrassing for him. And on his biggest, broadest medium, they're now fact-checking him and calling him out on the 20,000 lies. So that's not going to be helpful to him. He's going to try to figure out a way to get them to stop doing that.
Anthony Scaramucci worked on Donald Trump's 2016 campaign and was White House press secretary for 11 days.
The president has really good karma, okay? And the world turns back to him. He's genuinely a wonderful human being. And
He's now an outspoken critic and suspects Twitter decided to challenge Mr. Trump because of his promotion of baseless conspiracy theories.
They're hurting the family.
In particular, a suggestion by the president that TV host Joe Scarborough, a former Republican congressman, was somehow involved in the death of a staff member.
It's a sort of a vicious, mean-spirited thing to do in the middle of a pandemic, but I get why he's doing it, because he has figured out that there's a solid 30 to 35% of the country that doesn't care. They're in an ideological and a cultural war with the other side of the country.
Press, let's go! Press, let's go!
Now, as riots grip the country, reporters have been targeted like never before.
Press, let's go! Now! My cameraman has been hit. Are they moving through again?
Do you mind telling me why I'm under arrest?
We're arresting him live on CNN. We told you before that we are with CNN.
Anthony Scaramucci warns the president will be looking for more fights with the media as the election draws near and is urging journalists not to engage.
All the way back. Go all the way back.
Although social distancing will certainly make this year's campaign like no other, here many are preparing for it to be even more negative than the last.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.